The premium hatchback segment in India has been growing at about 6.5% over the last 5 years, and as a result of that, we have seen a lot of new models being launched in this segment. But if you dig down the memory lane, you will realize that it was actually the Hyundai i20 that brought in a revolution and started the premium hatchback segment in reality. And ever since then, the i20 throughout its multiple generations and updates has been an immensely successful model for the company. But now the all-new Hyundai i20 that a lot of you have been waiting for is finally nearing its launch, and by the time you see this video, it would have been launched. Now, what does the all-new i20 offer? How is it different from the previous model? Where does it score higher? What has it lost? What does it gain? And can it really reach the top of the segment once again like the previous model did? Well, the answers to all these questions are what we'll find out over the next few minutes. Now, before we dive ahead into the action and tell you more about this all-new i20, well, if you do end up liking this video, please hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon as well to stay updated to our forthcoming videos, and like it and share it with your friends as well. And now let's start off with the design updates of the all-new i20, and as you can see, well, it's an all-new car and that's why it's got an all-new design. Now the i20, if you remember from the previous generation also, was always a razor-sharp car to look at, and it stood out in the segment for that. And same treatment has been given to this all-new model as well. You can see it's got a very sharp and an edgy design all over, and it's got really strong creases which give it a very sporty and a dynamic stance. Now if you look at the front, it's got a very muscular and a sporty front. They've got these nice looking sleek LED projector headlamps with neatly integrated LED DRLs. You've got this nicely integrated fog lamp here in the lower part of the bumper, and of course if you look at the grille here, again it's got a blackened out theme, and this adds to the sportiness of this hatchback. Now this is the turbo petrol variant, so the grille is slightly different. However, if you opt for the other petrol variant, which is with the regular Kappa engine, the design on this grille will be a little bit different, but still it will be done in black, which will mean that you will continue to have a sporty face on your car. Now the other thing about the front that really makes the i20 very attractive is the fact that it's got a sweeping bonnet and with a very strong character lines. What this does is it gives a lot of kinetic character. It gives the car a forward lunging design, and that adds a little more to its overall dynamism. Well, if you look at the alloy wheels first, it's got an all-new design, and this is a diamond cut alloy wheel. Looks really sharp and it's got a striking look to it, especially if you see it in motion when the wheels are spinning. The effect is very impressive. Now this comes with 16-inch alloy wheels and it's shot with 195 section rubber. That means not only the wheel arches are filled up well, giving the car a dynamic stance, but when you look at it from the front or especially from the rear, the tires, again due to their increased width, give the car a wider and a sportier and a much more planted stance. Beyond that, again, as you can see, it's got this dual color roof effect, and this dual tone effect again adds a little bit more flair and a little more zing to the overall design. You've got these blackened out mirror with the side indicators on the ORVM, and again you have this blacked out theme on the lower skirting, and that means when you combine it with a black and a top and a bottom with this red shade in between, it gives the car a very nice and a youthful effect. Moving back, you can see there's a shark fin antenna, which is not something new for Hyundai, but again, yeah, it's been integrated well with the rest of the design. You've got this nicely integrated neat spoiler, and beyond that, if you look at the overall belt line, you can see it's got this chrome effect, and that again gives a bit more premium effect to the side profile, and it just clearly sets the i20 apart from any of its rivals on sale today. Again, just like the front and the side, this one also gets again a lot of sharp creases and edges, and as a result of that, you can see it's got a very attractive and a very different looking rear from any other car on sale in the Indian market right now in this particular segment. Now, beyond the side effect of the tail lamp, which has got that Z effect, here again you've got these tail lamps that shrink down and they have been connected using a chrome strip. Now, while the finishing, the fitment quality, the panel gaps, all of it is top notch. The design of the tail lamp again itself, like I've been saying, is very attractive. The one thing that probably, as a personal opinion, could have been done better is this part of the chrome in between. It's a little too much. Maybe this could have been replaced by a black, at least for the models that have the turbo petrol engine. If you look at the lower part of the bumper, again the bumper of course has very strong edges and creases just like the front, so of course the sportiness remains very at a high level, and you've got this diffuser effect given at the rear. So to overall sum up the design, well, I think the i20 hits the bull's eye because it's got everything that makes a car desirable when you look at it. It's got a sharp and a sleek design. It's got really strong edges and curves that give it a lot of dynamism. It's got a sporty profile, and it's got a forward leaping stance that again adds so much to that sporty appeal. Now, the all-new Hyundai i20 is longer, it is wider, and it has a longer wheelbase as well when you compare it to the older model. And that clearly shows once you step inside the cabin, as you are greeted with extra space and a more airy cabin inside. Now, what will grab your attention first is the all-new dashboard design, which has got a very nice free-flowing effect. So the air conditioning vents have been integrated very neatly in this free-flowing design. And of course, if you look at the material quality, the build quality, all of it is top-notch and one of the best in this segment, which is perfectly in sync with the premium positioning of this car. Now, one of the other things that I want to point out first, and this is a sort of a fun activity for you, is that look at the steering wheel design. Well, it is of course similar to what you get on the all-new Creta, and compare the dashboard design. Now, this is very similar to the design from a German luxury car, especially that too from a flagship model that costs well over rupees 1 crore. So let us know in this comment section which car is this similar to, and we'll see how many of you get that answer right. And now coming back to the car, well, of course you have this nice looking, neatly integrated 10.25-inch color touchscreen, and of course it comes equipped with Hyundai's BlueLink that we have been seeing on most of the recent models, and that means this is a connected car. And in fact, if you look at the premium hatchback space, this is in fact the first fully connected vehicle in its segment. Now, if you talk about the screen, it's got great resolution and it's got very good clarity. Of course, the touch interface is nice. The entire response is very fluid, and the user interface is quite simple. It comes with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and it also has navigation. So pretty much sorted as far as your connectivity options are concerned. The steering wheel, like I said, same like you find on the new Creta. Nice, chunky, good looking steering wheel, loaded with all the controls you would want here in a steering wheel. So it's got your overall your MID controls, your volume controls, your Bluetooth telephony controls, as well as it's got the voice command button here. And the instrument cluster, again, this is a very new and a nice addition. Now, this is a fully digital instrument cluster that you get here, and it's got a nice anti-clockwise layout to it on either sides, and that means that it's got a good effect. Readouts are very simple and clear, and the best part is that the central display screen that can also be used to see turn-by-turn navigation, and as a result of that, when you're driving, especially in tight traffic, you do not have to take your eyes off the road to look at the screen here, because you're getting those turn by turn directions right here, so your view is never off the road. So that just makes it a much better car to drive. Visibility from inside the car is fantastic. It's very good. So even if you're someone who's not really a experienced driver, you've just learned driving, you'll not find the i20 a hard car to drive, because it's got good visibility all around. So you will find it easy and you'll find your confidence growing in the car very soon. If you talk about smart features, well, there are a lot. Once you move below this neatly integrated HVAC control panel, what you have here is a wireless charging pad. And again, a segment first feature here is that this has a cooling function, because a lot of times we see our smartphones get heated, and in that case this will ensure your smartphone doesn't get overheated and there's no damage to it. So that's a smart feature to have. Beyond that, you have a 12-volt socket and you have two USB points, one of which supports fast charging, so you can have multiple devices charged on the go. The seats are very nice, and what is different as per the variants, now like I said, this is the turbo petrol variant, so it's got this red stitching and the red piping around to give it a bit more sporty effect. In your other variants, this will not be there, the color will be different, but the theme of the color will be black. So across variants, what you will get is a black theme inside the i20, because this is being positioned as a premium and a sporty vehicle. So yes, good seats, it's got good amount of cushioning. The side support is very good. In fact, it's one of the best in this segment, and you've got a lot of smart storage spaces around. So your door pockets are large enough to accommodate 1 liter bottle and be left with space for more. Again, you have a very good Bose surround sound system, and the audio quality again is quite nice. So that is again a benefit and a unique thing in this segment. You also have an electrically operated sunroof, and if you look at the overall build quality, the fitment quality, all of it is top notch. And as a result of that, when Hyundai is saying that this is going to be the most premium car in its segment, well, I don't see any reason to think otherwise, because it truly stands up to that claim. Now, like I said earlier, the new i20 has a longer wheelbase than the outgoing model, and as a result of that, you will find more space even when you're at the rear seat. Now, with the driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference, and I'm 5 feet 8 inches for reference, you can see I do have a good amount of legroom to spare, and of course I have enough space to slide my feet under the driver's seat, and that gives me a lot of ease in finding a comfortable position to be seated in. Now, if you talk about the headroom, well, again, despite having a very sporty design, the headroom is nice, and that means if you're someone who's taller than me, you will still not find your head brushing against the roof. And the rear seat itself is quite nice. I think this is one of the better seats in this segment, because it's got a very low transmission tunnel, and that means when you combine it with the good amount of shoulder room that this seat offers, you can actually have 3 people sitting abreast in decent comfort. And the seat is again completely flat, so that means the third occupant will not be in much of a discomfort. The seat itself is nice in terms of cushioning, and the side support is also good. The headrests are adjustable, and again, that means you will find it very easy to find a good position for yourself. Now, one of the good things about this seat is that it has got a good amount of under thigh support, and unlike some of the other cars in this segment which miss out on under thigh support because of the space constraint, this one offers good amount of under thigh support, and that means if you're going to be here for a long duration, or if you're going out for one of those long weekend drives, the rear seat is going to keep you comfortable. There's also this front armrest, which again, it's a cushioned armrest and very comfortable. However, for some reason it misses out on dual cup holders, and I cannot understand the reason for it, because that's not very expensive to integrate as well. But well, it's not a deal breaker, it's a small thing. And yes, the seats themselves are flexible, so you can fold them down. So in case you need more space than what is offered in the boot, which we will talk about in a short while, you can create more room inside the car, and that means there is a good amount of flexibility. And there's also one more thing that I need to tell you. This car also comes with the integrated air purifier, and that is something which is very important in these days because most of our large cities are having very polluted air. So this will ensure the air inside the cabin is always healthy and free of pollution. Of course, at the rear you also have the convenience of these AC vents and an additional USB charging point. And now coming to the boot space, well, the all-new i20 has a smartly designed boot, and this in terms of volume is higher than by about say 25 liters than the older model, and that means you get extra space. And because the design is so simple, you can actually utilize most of it, and that means you can have more luggage inside this. The loading lip, of course, is a little high, and so getting in those heavy bags might be a slight inconvenience at the start, but you can get actually a lot of them inside with ease. Now, while the Hyundai i20 has been known for a lot of things, including luxury and design and feature-packed interiors, one thing that it has never really been known for is performance-oriented package. But with the all-new i20, Hyundai intends to change that, because now the all-new i20 will finally be able to call itself a hot hatchback, because it gets the 1-liter turbocharged petrol engine, and you get, for this segment in a hatchback, you get a very healthy 120 PS of power. So if you are someone who's looking for a performance-oriented hatchback, finally Hyundai has something in store for you in the premium hatchback space. Now, how is it to drive? Well, that is something we'll let you know later when we get a hold of this car, but on paper, Hyundai seems to have addressed the driver-oriented package problem with the i20. Now, the turbo engine is not the only petrol engine that is on offer. You can also opt for the regular 1.2-liter Kappa engine, and you can actually pair that with either a CVT, which Hyundai calls an IVT, or a 5-speed manual transmission. The turbo engine itself again comes with a choice of 2 transmissions, so you can have it either with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission or a IMT transmission, which we recently saw making its debut on the Venue. So that means you can have the convenience of the automatic or the control over your gearbox using the IMT. For those who love the diesel, there is also the option of choosing the torquey 1.5-liter diesel engine with 100 PS of power. Now, this will be offered only with a manual gearbox for now, but I hope that at later stage maybe Hyundai should and might offer an automatic gearbox with this package as well. So as far as powertrain is concerned, again, a lot of flexibility, a lot of options being offered, which is something we have seen with almost every new Hyundai launch, and I think this is something that they have done very smartly. And the biggest change, of course, for me is the fact that this new turbo engine finally makes the i20 something it never was, a driver-oriented car. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have now given you all the details about the much awaited all-new Hyundai i20, be it its design, be it the features, be it the powertrain, or be it the segment-first technologies that it comes with. Now, if you talk about this as a package, it is indeed very impressive. The all-new i20 comes with multiple segment-first features and technology that sets it apart from any of its rivals, and of course it looks fantastic, and that is something that will give it an edge over many of its rivals. The biggest change for me, however, like I said earlier, is the fact that this car was never known for performance, but that might just change with the introduction of the turbo petrol engine. Of course, by now we have given you all the data and all the details about the all-new i20. All that remains to be seen is, of course, the pricing and the way the vehicle drives on the road and how it performs. So as for the pricing, well, by the time you see this video, the prices should be out, and if Hyundai can competitively price this car and give a good value for money, not necessarily a low price tag, but good value for money. There is no reason why the all-new i20 won't be once again a roaring success. And as for the driving impression of this car, well, stay tuned to our channel and we will bring you the review of this i20 very soon.